Wow, it worked the first time that time.
I know. It's like the
You need help?
button. I had that one the other day one time.
Well, that's where I was sitting last time. Getting trouble. I know the same one, but
Um,
Good. Allie, are we good? Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Regents of the Amarillo Junior College District. It is now 6 p.m. and we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. I want to welcome everyone here to this meeting this evening. We appreciate your attendance. Regents, thank you for rearranging your schedules for this meeting as we had to postpone last time because of weather. It's not on the agenda, but it was just inadvertently left off. We want to go ahead and start with a prayer. So if you'll go ahead and bow, please. I'll lead us in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful day that you've given us to honor you and to worship you and to just do great things in this world. Lord, be with each one of us tonight. Be with the Regents as we deliberate these decisions that we have before us. Be with everyone here. Bring everyone home safely tonight. We just thank you so much for Amarillo College and all the faculty and the staff and the administration. What a wonderful college we have that's a blessing to our city, and we thank you so much for that. Go with us as we leave here tonight. We thank you again for this opportunity to serve. In Jesus Christ's name I pray, amen. All right, we will next go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone will stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now is the time for public comment. Item number 4. Anyone may address the board on any topic, whether it is on the agenda or not. If you wish to address the board, please fill out a comment request card. And I have one of those here before me. And I will acknowledge Mike Fisher. You have 3 minutes. Do you mind telling us what the subject of your comment is, Mr. Fisher?
It's just a general comment.
Okay, thank you.
It's not it kind of is about the agenda, but I have to assume what's being done in executive session. Alan Rhodes of the Underwood Law Firm is on the board of AFEB, and that's the Amarillo Foundation of Education and Business. I gave you guys a handout last week, or the last meeting, that you can kind of check out. I'm going to play a little comment from him that he made during his during that meeting that he had right here at this table. And the thing that bothers me is that he talks about basically transparency. So I'm going to play that here.
Bidding. The public bidding can get in the college's way. I've had an additional experience. Some of y'all know we represent 170 school districts, and they are also subject to this statute. And we had a district that entered into a letter of intent with a convenience store, had the letter of intent signed, and they went to bid, and the convenience store did not respond. And they said, "What's up?" And they said, "We're not going to conduct business in public that way." we're not gonna let all our competitors know what we paid for that. And I said, well, guess we need to form an independent foundation. And we're signing the paperwork on that sale today. Closing it, not the contract, we're closing it. So that public bidding can get in the college's way.
So if you listen to that statement, he kind of said the quiet part out loud. I mean, he didn't want transparency. He created a foundation so people didn't know what was going on with public property being sold. And I ask each one of you guys to do what you're elected for. You guys are here to represent us, all of you elected officials. And you should be getting the best price for this land. And we shouldn't be having a foundation to be a middleman to sell land that's ours. So, I mean, guys, I'd like for you guys to speak. Nobody talks. I mean, is Jay Barrett beating you guys or what? It seems like it's a guy that's overzealous with his kids and nobody will talk. Blink twice if you need help. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Don't have any more cards, right? So we're going to go on to the next agenda item, number 5, SGA report, Kennedy Juarez,
Public comment.
SGA Vice President.
Hello. I feel
Hi.
like it's been quite a while since I've been up here, so I'm very excited to be back and to give y'all the SGA report. So as y'all can see, due to our weather, even though we had some bad weather this past weekend, we still made the best of it and had some welcome week events to welcome our students back to campus for the first week. Our spring 1 welcome week kickoff, we did Build-A-Buddies, where we had little stuffed animals and everybody could stuff their own stuffed animal and take it home with them. It was really cute. It was very popular. Everybody loved it. And then we took that same event and took it to West Campus so our West Campus students could also have in on the fun. Our laser tag was put on by Intramural Sports and the welcome back breakfast was by BSM. We have lots of upcoming SGA events. The ones listed under upcoming SGA events are all the ones that we have planned for February so far. We have Badger Connect, which is our club fair, which is actually happening tomorrow at the Clock Tower. And it's just a way for any new students or students who have been here for a while who just want to learn how to get connected to the campus and involved at AC so they can come out and meet all the clubs at AC and see what they're interested in. Then we have Mr. Gaddy's After Hours. This is a very popular event. It's an annual event that we do every year. We usually have roughly 300 people come out and they can come to Gaddy's. It's from 10 p.m. to midnight. And if any of y'all want to come, I would love to see you all there. And it's free pizza and free arcade games for people to play. So it is tons of fun. And of course, you can't do events in February without having an event around dating or hearts. So we have Hearts and Smarts trivia coming up as well as the dating game, where our students can just get some advice on dating do's and don'ts and some relationship tips. Next, we have our upcoming SGA partnership events. We are very excited to partner up with Career and Employment Services once again to do a STEM career fair for all of our STEM majors, as well as partnering with the Counseling Center for the Texas Panhandle Overdose Awareness Workshop. We have a lot of spring student travel coming up. Our Blue Blazer student ambassadors just went on a CISFA conference trip to Portland, Oregon in early January. They went and learned a lot about how to give good tours, how to be a better student ambassador, and it was very informational. We have the SGA Spring 1 Regent Conference in Odessa, Texas on February 20th to the 22nd. It's a very informational workshop where we go and meet up with our fellow chapters in our region. Following that, we have the SGA State Conference in Dallas, Texas in April. And that's going to be all of the Texas Junior College Student Government Associations. And it'll be all of us in Texas. So it is going to be a lot of fun and very informational, and we are very excited. But that is all I have for y'all today. Does anybody have any questions?
Y'all been busy.
We have been very,
I was gonna say, that's all? That's
very
amazing.
excited to be that.
That's great, Kennedy. Thank you so much for that great report.
Thank you all so much.
Yes, we appreciate having you report that. Item number 6, Regents reports, committees, and comments regarding AC affiliates. We'll begin with the executive committee. I want to say it's been a very busy couple of months since we last met in the executive committee. We have met several times. We went to Dallas to DFW for the CEO and Regents collaborative first meeting. We just had the second one last week. Was it just last week?
Mhm.
Okay, just last week. And this is really free curriculum that we get to help us become what's known as College 3.0. And I know you're going to have part of that, right? I'm not going to steal your thunder
No.
because you have better thunder than I do. And so we'll continue to do that. It was great. I think that we have a lot to look forward to as we move forward in trying to become a College 3.0 that really works toward the after college part of what we do here. We've had several meetings where we had some legal matters to discuss, things of that nature. And then we've set the board agenda. And so that's basically my report for the executive committee. The nominating committee report, David's not here, and they've actually got something to bring. Peggy, are you going to do that here in a minute? You're on that committee, right? Because if David's not here, I didn't know who he appointed.
Did he talk to you?
No, because he didn't know he was gone.
Okay.
So we'll get to, do you have any other business to report?
We met to put forth someone to replace
Okay,
John as vice chair.
okay,
And that's Annette Fortunato.
okay. We'll have that nomination here in a minute. Okay, all right.
Annette Fortunato.
Annette, did we say Annette Fortunato?
Joe Carlisle.
Doubled up.
They're, oh gosh, so funny. All right, so speaking of Ms. Fortunato, AC Foundation report.
AC Foundation report, yes. The AC Foundation met on January 8th. And we had a guest speaker who is very familiar to y'all who may remember him as our commencement speaker several years ago. But Mugisha Ame came and spoke about how really his experience at AC and getting through Texas Tech, and now he's an engineer at Pantex, and he's teaching math part-time for AC. I mean, he's just incredible guy, and I think got a lot of help from some people in Amarillo when he was going to Texas Tech. They helped him he and his roommates, they got furniture for their apartment from people in Amarillo who helped them out, and a lot of that came from Golden Spread Energy, and Stacy Sanning from Golden Spread is now on our foundation board. So, but she did that before she was on our foundation board. It's really inspirational. The foundation held a press conference on January 21st to recognize $231,000 that was raised during our end of the year appeal, which was earmarked for the Advocacy and Resource Center, which is program real close to my heart. And then the foundation will honor its donors on February 10th at its annual Love Our Donors event, which this year will be held at the Health Science Simulation Center on February 10th from 5 to 7. So we're moving off main campus to West Campus for the Sim Center and showing that off to our donors.
Good.
I think they'll be very impressed.
Impressed, for
Thank you.
sure. Awesome, thank you. Joe Bill, is that one of the largest gifts that we've had for the ARC? Do you know?
Well, that was not one gift,
I know, but it was a
a
collection.
collection
Yeah.
of a lot of people.
We,
So, yeah, it was a great year in. Of
Um,
course, we had a match.
yeah, oh my
So,
gosh,
we really had about 133,000, which came in for
wow,
the ARC. And then we had $100,000 match.
wow.
So that's where the 231 came from.
I remember the
But
days.
There was an additional almost another 300,000 that we raised for other projects
Gosh.
during the year in the field.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was a good year in the field.
I remember the days in the early days of ARC, $25,000 was a big gift, and then we went to 50 and then 75. And so to see what we're doing in our community to support our neediest students is incredibly rewarding and refreshing. I love that. So thanks to the foundation and for that. And we love the ARC. So I don't know where Jordan is, but Jordan, thank you.
We love Jordan. Yeah, we love Jordan.
It's awesome. Okay, next up, we have the Amarillo Foundation for Education and Business. Paul, you're going to give us a report at this
Give you
time.
the one since Johnny's not here.
Okay.
And really all I have to say about AFEB right now is there have been no actions by AFEB since January of 2022, and there are none contemplated at this time.
So, okay, that's a good report. Thank you so much for that. Amoa, Michelle.
Yes, back to Michelle. So the museum gala was scheduled for the snowstorm and we had it. We were like the only thing in it that was open that night. Dr. Connor and Martin were there, and David Woodburn and Alicia were there. We really had good attendance. We had sold out the event, and it was touch and go all week, whether we were going to cancel it or not. And we just crossed our fingers and held it because we would lose $30,000 to vendors who had planned, and gotten the flowers here and the food here and the rentals were all here. And so we were committed to the vendors, and they were committed to us. Those servers at the Amarillo Club were serving us at the college when the Amarillo Club was closed, and going home at 10 o'clock in snow. And I mean, hats off to that crew at the Amarillo Club. It was really a lovely event. The museum for Panhandle Gives, the museum raised $92,500, which was more than what our goal was. I believe that was set. And then we got the profit from Christmas Roundup figured out, and the Alliance made $152,700 from Christmas Roundup. And the Art Alliance usually gives the museum about $125,000. So I think we'll get that same gift this year. And then February 20th is an exhibition. I put an invitation at your place because Kim kindly gave me copies, and I know some of you get these at home, but this is the exhibition that opened the gala. It's called Cultural Currency, and the collectors will be at this event because they couldn't make it in. Their flight was canceled for the gala, and so they were going to come to this. And Kim said that if any regents want to come to this, she will waive the non-member fee. That's $15 for non-members. She's not going to charge you for that. And if you will just tell the people at the table that you're a regent, you and a +1 can get in for free that night or on February 20th. And it will be some artists, let's see, gallery talks that night. It'll be a great event. It will be well attended. And then the always popular 20 by 20 live and online auction is scheduled for April 2nd. So mark your calendars.
And so you promised no snow on February 20th?
I sure hope so.
That's going to be great. Thank you so much. We appreciate your passion, Michelle, for the arts.
Sure, thank you.
And for serving there. Next up is Panhandle PBS report by Peggy.
Okay, Panhandle PBS invites you to Lights, Camera, Murder, a killer evening of mystery, intrigue, and classic Hollywood drama, happening this Thursday, February 12th at PBS Studio. This event launches Panhandle PBS's new interactive murder mystery dinner series, where guests don't just watch, they become part of the story. Set inside a television studio, the night blends wit, suspense, and old school glamour. Guests will enjoy a delicious dinner provided by Delvin's, sip on a signature cocktail, and work together to untangle a murder mystery full of twists and surprises. Sounds interesting. Tickets are $75 and attendance is limited to just 80 guests. So space is exclusive. If you enjoy great food, immersive entertainment, and a little mystery, this one might be one you don't want to miss.
Good. That sounds very fun.
It does sound fun.
Very fun. All right. Thank you, Peggy. we have a tiers one, the tier zone. David's not here. Did anyone else get a report from him to read? Okay, so no report on that. Same thing for tiers 2 at this time. And then tiers 3, Paul?
No report.
No report at this time. Policies and procedures and that, nothing? Or do we have?
We're trying to set up a committee meeting to review the local update from TASB.
TASB?
And we'll try to get that done, if not by the February board meeting, then the March.
It'll be March.
March, okay.
All right, very good. And then the finance committee, does anyone have a report on the finance committee? Since Johnny's not here. Okay. Legislative affairs. Anyone have anything going on there?
I'll just say that it's getting ready to be primary and early voting, so
Yes.
register today is your last day to register, so you're probably done for if you haven't.
All right.
And please vote.
And I want to say that we are going to have Irene fill in for the next several meetings here for John. You will be the chair for the legislative committee, and I've added Peggy to that to the committee as well to flesh that out. And then also for Kat, I asked, and she accepted Peggy to chair our CAT President's Community College Association of Texas Trustees. And I'm assuming, Peggy, we don't have a report at this time. Okay. All right. And thank you, ladies, for doing that. We appreciate that. All right. That's it for item number 6. Item number 7 is the election of the vice chair of the board. This item is placed on the agenda due to a vacancy in this position resulting from Mr. John Betancourt's temporary suspension from board committees. The nominating committee will make a recommendation to fill this position pending the final determination of Mr. Betancourt's matter. So Peggy, you want to bring that nomination from the nominating committee?
In the nominating committee, we nominate Michelle Fortunato, not Annette.
And as that came from a committee, it needs no second. Do we want to go ahead? I don't think we need to discuss.
Well,
Any discussion?
if there's a second, then call for discussion.
Oh, okay. So that's the motion. Any second on that? Does it need a
Oh, I
second?
guess it doesn't.
No, you don't need one.
I didn't think it needed
You
a
can ask for
second.
discussion.
So any discussion on that?
Sorry.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I was going to say, Michelle, do you
I
want to have any?
do it. Yeah.
I just think it's a good choice, given everything that we've got going,
Yeah.
that Michelle would be quite qualified as the attorney. to
I agree.
Handle things.
Good. I agree with that. Thank you, Peggy, and the work of the nominating committee. So now we're going to go ahead and put that to the vote. All in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by no? All right, that is unanimous. Welcome, Madam Vice Chair. Thank you so much for your service. All right, item number 8. Amarillo College Regent reappointed to Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Tiers 1 Board of Directors. The item is placed on the agenda so that the board may wish to reappoint Dr. David Woodburn to the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 1 Board of Directors.
You need a motion? Just,
I think we do.
okay, so I move to reappoint David Woodburn to tiers 1.
Second, whoever wants to go second. Allie, you choose. And I think it was Paul. Any discussion? All in favor of this motion to reappoint Dr. Woodburn, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with no? All right, that motion carries. We will talk about tiers 2 before the next meeting. We'll have somebody in place that we'll want to recognize. We'll look at some people then. And we found out it doesn't have to be a board member. So y'all think about that. It does not have to be a board member, just someone we feel like would represent us the best on the tiers board. We're going to go ahead and look at item number 9, Amarillo College Regent reappointed to Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone 3 Board of Directors. This item is placed on the agenda, so the board may wish to reappoint Dr. Paul Proffer to Tiers 3 Board of Directors. Do I hear a nomination?
For approval.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with no? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your service to that, Paul. We really appreciate that. Next up, I'm going to get out of the way. My voice hurts, and I'm going to let you talk. Dr. Jamel Connor will bring us the president's report, and I will just have to say we recently have been looking as part of the work that we're doing with Aspen. We're looking at the way we do the board meetings, and her report was listed at pretty much the top of the list. And so I want to let you know there's no pressure, but we really like your report.
Thanks, and hopefully my voice holds out. So I'm well over the sickness, but the cough is just hanging on.
Got some mints right here.
Thank you. Building on last fall's momentum, spring 2026 enrollment has increased 5.5% year over year, reaching a headcount of over 8,700 students. While dual credit enrollment remains a primary driver of these headcount gains, we're also seeing a robust 5% increase in credit hours. This growth is a direct result of a sustained multi-year increase in full-time student enrollment. Notably, current credit hour production has exceeded the 5-year average by nearly 10%, significantly strengthening the college's fiscal position as tuition and fee revenues are closely aligned with total credit hours delivered. Our new Badger Bound program is continuing also to gain great momentum throughout our region. Dual credit enrollment is up this term by almost 33% compared to our 5-year average for spring. Dual credit spring enrollment is up by almost 500 students from last spring. 522 high school students earned 15 dual credits in fall, and we're on track for up to 450 more high school students to earn the 15 credit hours this term. The new CTE program launched this year across multiple ISDs, including welding, CIS, automotive, and child development. We're also excited to have over 100 new dual credit students in education courses with our Amarillo ISD, as well as now offering dual credit at North Heights Alternative School. To touch on a few of our early student success indicators, for our first time in college 2025 cohort, our fall to spring retention rate so far is 80.03%. This rate will not be finalized until after the census date of the second 8-week term this spring. However, this is truly a moment to celebrate, as it's the first time in the history of the college that we've reached 80% for our fall to spring retention rate. We broke another record this fall with having the largest ever number of students make the Dean's List. 1,185 students achieved at least a 3.6 GPA while taking at least 12 credit hours. The 3-year graduation rate for the most recent FTIC cohort of 2022 is 31.33%. For FTIC 2021, the rate was 28%. For FTIC back in 2012, the rate was 13.18%. Eclipsing 30% is pretty outstanding. And the fact that our retention rate has improved for our most recent cohorts is a good sign that our graduation rate will improve beyond the 31.33% rate for FTIC 2022. A huge shout out to all of our faculty and staff that work so intentionally to help our students succeed. Amarillo College has been working closely with Workforce Solutions to support the employees affected by the Tyson layoff. Last Tuesday, AC had 6 tables at the Tyson layoff job fair, including truck driving, industry and trades, outreach, ESL and GED, human resources, and heavy equipment. A little over 800 employees attended the event. Several submitted application for custodial and heavy equipment positions that we currently have open. Many filled out interest cards for our programs or registered to attend upcoming Perkins events. The greatest level of interest we saw was in our ESL and GED programs. Over 50 individuals signed the interest sheet or took home flyers. We'll continue to partner with Workforce Solutions to support prospective students interested in our programs. The Innovation Outpost will host the Skills USA regional competition on February 13th, welcoming high school participants from the South Plains and High Plains regions. Competitions will span multiple technical disciplines from information technology, cybersecurity, networking, and digital media. We anticipate approximately 125 to 150 participants throughout the day. Pantex is launching the Pantex Strategic University Research Consortium, which is a research and development program where faculty may submit research proposals and receive funding. On February 23rd, they're hosting a proposers workshop at Amarillo College's First Responders Academy, where faculty from Amarillo College, Texas Tech, A&M, and West Texas A&M can learn more about the proposal process, timeline, and goals. Pantex anticipates a total annual budget of $2 million with 7 to 15 awards for projects lasting 1 to 3 years. They're seeking research proposals in several areas, including digital transformation, energetics and high explosives, material science, production throughput, quality and human factor design, security, safety, and emergency management, and training. We're so excited to be considered a strategic partner in this program and that our faculty have an opportunity to participate and access significant funding for research. Now, some highlights of meetings and connections from me since our last regular scheduled meeting in November. I had a great morning touring Plains Dairy, learning so much about the process and also discussed career opportunities for their current and future employees. Amarillo College is fortunate to have the support of such generous community partners like Plains Dairy. I remember meeting them when I initially arrived a year ago, and they've been consistently engaged with so many things here at the college. I attended the National Philanthropy Day luncheon and was so inspired by the honorees and generosity and giving spirit that runs throughout the Panhandle. I was able to meet with the new president of SACS at the annual SACSOC meeting and hear his vision moving forward to improve the accreditation process and more intentionally support our institutions in this work. At the P16 Management Board meeting, we gained favorable feedback about our Badger Bound program and our expansion to include everyone throughout our region. Every term, I'm even more impressed with the talent of our faculty, students, and community members with their performances at the community band concert and the brass ensemble concert. A special shared concert by the AC Chamber Orchestra and the guitar ensemble honored longtime director David Hines, who passed away in November. The Chamber Orchestra performed David's final published composition, Spring Fest, as a last piece of the program. With the end of the fall term, it was wonderful to attend our LVN and ADN pinning ceremonies and then also participate in my first commencement here at Amarillo College. Almost 1,200 summer and fall graduates were eligible to receive diplomas, and almost 350 walked across the stage. We had about 4,200 folks in the audience, not counting our faculty and graduates. I think one of my favorite moments was watching everyone throughout the auditorium stand to be recognized as alums of Amarillo College. I was honored to serve as a judge for the Lions Club Sweetheart Pageant. Those young women are truly extraordinary, and it was a pleasure to get to know them, as well as meet many wonderful members of the Lions Club. I appreciated the Amarillo Advertising Federation inviting me to be their keynote at their January luncheon. In addition to thanking them for the experience they bring to our advisory committees and their support of our students in internships and finding jobs, I was also able to gather their feedback on our strategic planning work. And finally, I appreciate the time and input that you all gave as a board last week to attend the Presidents and Board Collaborative Workshop. I'm excited about the direction we're headed in, even further strengthening the intentional focus at our board meetings on our strategic goals and student success. That's the end of my report.
That's why we like your report. And gives us a great picture of everything that's going on here. It's wonderful. All of those statistics you gave about the number of the growth that we're having in everything is phenomenal. That 80% is a mark that we've been looking toward for a long time. And now the fact is that we got to stay there and grow even past that, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. I love that report, Dr. Connor. Thank you so much. Now, item 11 is on here. We actually acknowledged Dr. Woodburn at last week's special meeting because he was here. We knew he would not be here even to receive his award at the headliners reception, Man and Woman of the Year luncheon the other day, because guess what? He's on another mission. He's in Belize right now doing good work there. And I will tell you, what I remember is that he has brought to Amarillo over $3 million worth of dental care for people who otherwise could not afford that over his many years of service. And I just wanted to acknowledge that and recognize him even tonight for the work that he's done. David, I know you're not watching the live stream in Belize, but maybe you'll watch this later, and we really, really do appreciate you. If y'all would, please give a round of applause for David Woodburn. Thank y'all so much. Next item on the agenda is item number 12, the minutes of the regular board meeting on November 18th, 2025, and the special board meeting on January 14th, 2026. We need to do these separately. They can be combined. Okay, so do I hear a motion concerning the minutes? They move for approval. Annette? Okay, Irene, second. Any discussion about our minutes and corrections or anything? All right, let's go ahead and have a vote on that. All in favor of the minutes as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by no? All right, thank you so much. Motion carries. Then the consent agenda item number 13, we have appointments, faculty appointments, and budget amendments. Y'all have had a chance to look at those. I'll entertain a motion.
I move approval.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Or Annette.
Yeah.
Michelle.
You want to be?
And Annette, second. Okay. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, or yes, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed by no? All right, the consent agenda passes. The financial report, item number 14, we're going to bring Miss Tiffany Crossley, the financial report, financial statements rather, for October 31 of last year and November 30th of last year are attached in pages 8 through 25. Tiffany, please lead us through this.
Okay. See if I can figure out what I'm doing here. This is my first time with PowerPoint. Okay, so last full meeting that we had, Dr. Connor went through this new dashboard that she has a vision of. So this is our first rundown of that dashboard. I can foresee things changing a little bit as we get going on this, but you should understand, but if you have any questions, let me know. And then we can quickly go over the financials in the back afterwards. Okay, so this first slide is the operating budget to actual variance analysis. So the first column is the 24-25 original budget that was approved by the college. The second column is the actual expenditures through November for the 24-25 budget. That third column is the 25-26 budget that was approved by the board, which is what we're operating in currently. And then the next column, the actual year to date, is where we are through November 2025 of actuals. The year over year change is the actual change from actuals through last year November through this year of November. And then your percentage on the last column. So I just want to go over some of the big ones just to kind of give you an idea of what makes up those changes. So our state appropriation number has changed by 15% from last year. We've received the first of our 3 state appropriation payments in October, and formula funding actually gave us more money this year than they have in the past. So that's what makes up that big change of the $678,195. In that second in that second row, you can see tuition and fees are up 5%, and that's just as Dr. Connor spoke of a second ago. And then our tax revenue is up 19% through November. And we've received 1.3 million more in collections through November of 25 than we had as of November 24. So a lot of that could just be timing of as people are paying their property taxes. So down on the expense section, I just want to touch on the big increase of expenses is actually in that capital equipment section of $136,400, which is a 22% increase from last year. East Campus had several electrical and other repairs that were needed to be done, and that was about $100,000 worth of repairs. And then our IT infrastructure, we had to purchase more computer equipment. That was about $235,000. So that's why there is a big discrepancy right there of your capital equipment. All right. Does anyone have any questions here? Okay. So this one's the one that's a little more complicated. So this is our operating cash flows. And at the very bottom is the same breakdown that we've been providing for the last several months. So these are the separate bank accounts that are held at the college. and the balance that is there as of the end of that month. So at the end of November in our operating accounts, there was $4,877,686. November is not really one of our big months. We get our state appropriation money in October, and then we start collecting our property taxes at the end of December. So in this cash flow, you'll notice that the dark blue line is the 24-25 inflows. So that's all the cash that's coming in, and you'll see that all the way forecasted out through the year. Same thing for the dark orange. That is the 24-25 outflows. So the inflows are the money coming in. The outflows are the money going out to pay all the expenses, payroll, all the things that are happening at the college. So for 25-26, there's the teal colored line, which looks different. So it's really hard to show in this picture, but when we looked at exactly what was happening in the cash flow, last year about this time, when we were completing all of the construction, we had cashed in a CD to pay for a big chunk of that construction going on campus. So there were inflows that came in November at the very first, but it also went out to the bond account to pay for those construction expenses. So if we take that 2.5 million out of the number that we have shown for the November 24-25 inflows, we're really comparable this year. So we had that one CD that was not normal income that comes in November. And we also are missing the CPB money that we usually would have gotten in for KACB, which usually was around 800 or 900,000. So if that were not the case, then we would be right there on that same blue trajectory that we were last year. So it's really just a timing difference when it comes down to it. December looks a lot better. This is just kind of the ebbs and flows of cash.
So is there no inflows for December or January?
We are only presenting through November today with the financial statements and all of this. So we've got it. We'll give it to you next month for December and December.
We just don't have it all put together yet and looked at and analyzed.
Correct. We just were doing through November.
So we're doing 1 year or 1 month in arrears.
We really like that mountain peak, so that
Mhm. Right.
that teal needs to go.
Well, we're
Go
there
up.
right now, so we're
Go
good.
up.
Okay. Okay. So these are financial matrix that we started talking about last time, probably October when we talked about them. So, your net assets, we want to see that growing. So as you can see from looking at even September of 2025, when we originally presented, it was 59.1 was your net asset number. It's grown to the end of November at 61.1. So that's good. We're going in the right direction. And same with your net position. So as of September 2025, we were at 58.7. And as of the end of November, we're at 60.6. So definitely going in the right direction. So for our current ratio, that's our ability to pay in the short term. So in September, we presented you that our current ratio was 1.33. At the end of November, it's 1.43. We're striving to get between 1.5 and 2. This right here shows that we're in better shape. We're not where we want to be, but it's helped you start receiving some of our property tax income that's coming in. That helps to change our asset number and lower our liability number to get our ratio up. And then on our debt ratio, we're getting there. So it's not, at the end of September, it was 79%. At the end of November, we're at 78%. And that just is a percentage to show the amount of what we own, that's the amount that's financed. So we want this number to be quite a bit lower, but we're getting there.
Tiffany, what is that debt? Is that the bonds mostly?
Yes.
All?
Primarily, there's a couple other small things in there, but nothing large.
We don't owe A and B anything,
No,
right?
absolutely not. No, the only debt that I'm aware of that we owe is we owe for the buses, for the athletics buses that we bought, and it's around 250,000.
But that was the payout.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, but it is part of our debt, but that is it.
So where do we want to be on debt ratio?
Everything I've seen shows that if you're at 0.5%, like 0.5 or less, it's better. The lower it is, the more it looks as if you own more than what you actually owe. But with us having the bond, it's going to take a while to get there. Does anyone have any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
On A and B, we drew down the line of credit.
Yes.
Did we use any of that line of credit?
So we were approved the line of credit back in October. We drew on that line of credit for 3 days and paid the line of credit back, and we've not ever drawn on the line of credit again.
On that first slide, there was some things that I didn't quite understand, and I was trying to process what it, where you said the percentages. The ones in the negative, can you help me understand those?
So, on revenue, the ones that are in the negative, so investment income, we had a whole lot of CDs prior. We only have 2 CDs now. So our goal is to eventually get more. So our return's going to be more. So that's why that revenue would be down for investment income. For your miscellaneous income, there are several departments that had gotten grant money or money from the foundation to support some of their programs. So emergency medical services, dental hygiene, healthcare simulator. They had received several gifts that totaled about 800,000 last year that they haven't gotten this year. So that's just a decrease in revenue that was moved over to that department.
Thank you.
And then supplies, we're just buying less supplies. So that's a good thing. And travel's down. That's just a cyclical thing depending on when there are the timing. And then other departments expenses, we had about a $500,000 savings on our LMS software.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
you doing it.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion concerning our financials.
Do you want me to go over the actual? I don't care. It's up
I
to
didn't
you
know
guys.
if that's all we were going to do. Do you want to go through the other part of this like we normally would?
I really don't care. You just tell me.
What do y'all think?
Either way.
What do we want to do? I love the dashboards.
I can see this actually.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense to us.
I think the goal is to move to
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
I mean, we've had a chance to look at all the other, but this puts it in context that really makes sense of what we're trying to do, where we want to go, and where we are right now.
Guess, is there anything on the financials that you need to call our attention to that is different or something that we should notice?
No,
Question.
there's really not anything different. Some of the expenses went up in some areas because there was a 4% pay increase last year. So when you look at last year's salary expenses versus this year, they've increased. Our professional fees are down because we're finishing up these projects out there. And so we don't have as much architect fees that we had in the past. And then as we capitalize those buildings, our depreciation expense has gone up. So just some stuff that we expect to happen, but nothing alarming.
Anything else anyone wants to look at?
I don't notice the what's our extra fund balance on these?
Reserves,
Reserves.
fund balance.
Currently, that line at the bottom, grand total, that's our revenues over expenses. Now that's going to ebb and flow every month, right? Depending on what's happening.
But that's different than our fund balance.
Correct, but by the end of the year, we should be dropping, that will become, whatever we're able to drop in at the end of the year becomes our fund balance. But if you go to the next slide after this on the cash flows, if you were looking at what cash we had through the end of November, that's at 4.877 million just for the operating piece.
I would like that a little more visible, at least in the financials. Because it used to be on the last page where we could see it.
Is it not on there now? Okay.
I did not provide the reserve analysis page since we haven't reported on that in a while. If you will look at page 21 though, that is your expense part of your balance or your income statement at the very bottom where it says change in net position. That far right column that says 11,485,238, that is essentially what we're considering at the end of November to be going into your fund balance. And that will change from month to month.
That's in the November financial.
Yes, on page 21.
Yeah. So are we saying that $11 million plus is our fund balance?
As of right now, yes.
We will continue to see that grow as we make some changes, right?
Our goal with what I had presented back in November is by the end of all the ebbs and flows throughout the whole year that we would be adding at least 5 million to the fund balance at the end of the year. So it gets us
Only 40
way there.
added some, so yeah.
What it looks like. So it's moving in the right direction for sure.
Yes.
Anything else?
Move for approval financial.
Any second?
Second.
Okay, Paul, any other discussion? Do like that we're going to really isolate the fund balance because that's something we all need to look at and see. Okay, no other discussion. All in favor of approving the financials, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. All right, thank you very much, Tiffany. Stay right where you are. We have an investment report. The Board of Regents will be presented the quarterly investment report for the period September 1, 2025 through November 30, 2025. And a copy of this report is provided to us.
Yes. So your investment report, on page 5, it gives you the portfolio overview. So I draw your attention to the first column on the left. 9/1 of 2025, the market value in our investment fund was $12,741,607. At the end of November 2025, we were at $10,138,337. So that's about a $2 million change. When we look at it month to month, most of the stuff that sits in here is your tax pool investments and your CDARS, which are the CDs that we hold. The CD balances have remained the same. So we've done nothing with those CDs besides reinvest when they have been called. So this is just timing of as we need cash. We take cash from tax pool if we don't have any money or have enough money to cover things in our local maintenance account at Amarillo National Bank. So this balance at the end of November of the 10 million isn't anything to be alarmed about. Because when we look at it at the end of December, we're back up to 14 million in this account. So it's just the ebbs and flows of how we use the cash. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion concerning our investment report.
Move for approval.
Any second? Thank you, Paul and Annette. Any other discussion on our investment report? All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed by no? All right, that motion carries. Now, Tiffany, the trifecta. Well, actually, you have 4 up here. So records management, annual report, Title VI, Subtitle C, Local Government Code provides that a junior college district must establish by resolution an active and continuing records management program to be administered by a records management officer. The records retention administration schedules and administers rules issued by the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, determines if the records management program in the Amarillo College District's records control schedules are in compliance with state regulations. The commission reports that Amarillo College is in compliance. The records management officer, Trey Kepley, reported per Amarillo College records management policy that the annual disposition consisted of 166 items. Is this what you were going to say?
Yep, you're doing
You
great.
say it. You say it. Go for it.
So there were 166 items. After review, department administrators withdrew 27 items out of that 166. So the remaining records consisted of 139 boxes of paper records. These items were destroyed in November of 2025. The disposition of these documents was approved by the Records Management Committee per Amarillo College policy.
All right. No action is required for this agenda item. It was just interesting information.
I have a question.
Okay. Yeah.
How long do they keep those records?
So it depends on what type of records. Most of them are about 5 years, but some records, like student records, may have to be held forever. So it really is just based on the type of record.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Tiffany, you want to step there for item number 17, nominations for the Potter Randall Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Okay. So this is my first go round.
We'll help.
Okay, so the Potter Randall Appraisal District will soon have a position available on its board of directors representing Randall County. Mr. Daryl Furman has resigned from the board. The term of this position will end December 31st, 2027. And the Amarillo College Board of Regents members have been provided packets on pages 26 through 32. That consists of the eligibility requirements of a board member, a list of the current members of the 2 county boards who are willing to continue to serve, and the voting entitlement according to Texas Property Code Section 6.03D. And so in November, the board voted for Jack Klaus and Ginger White to fill the 2 available board positions. Other candidates on that ballot then were Haley Holt and Tom Sherlin. Haley Holt was appointed and her term will end December 31st, 2029. Since the Amarillo College Board of Regents previously voted for Jack Klaus in November, it's recommended that he be nominated to fill that vacancy.
Moved.
Okay, so we have that in a motion made by Annette. Any second?
Second.
Okay, all right, Michelle, any discussion? All right, all in favor of making Jack Klaus the Pratt nominee, Potter Randall, it is Pratt, District Board of Directors, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by no? All right, that motion carries. And I have some paperwork that I'll fill out on that. All right, Tiffany. Get some water and you're done for the evening, I think. All right. Number 18, tenure recommendations, Dr. Frank Selby. This is always a fun item to look at. Thank you for coming and bringing this to us.
Thank you, Jay. Good evening, board. The following faculty members have been recommended for tenure by their supervisors, the Rank and Tenure Committee, the appropriate administrative channels, and the president. They meet all criteria for tenure as stated in the Amarillo College Employee Handbook. And if approved, the effective date will be September 1, 2026. On a personal note, these are all lovely, committed, wonderful faculty, and I strongly support their tenure.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions?
Anyone have any questions of Mr. Selby, Dr. Selby, rather?
Nope, move for approval.
Okay, move for approval, Paul. Second, John. Any other discussion for these wonderful candidates? All in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by no? That motion carries. Congratulations to these wonderful tenured folks. Number 19, Perkins Equipment Tech Lab Systems. Miss Jackie Jones going to come and present to us. Thank you, Jackie.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to request approval for purchases with the Perkins Basics Grant Fund. The first one is the equipment text lab system. The Amarillo training equipment will enhance instructional quality while also supporting enrollment growth in advanced manufacturing programs here at AC's Moore County campus by providing visible hands-on learning opportunities. And these are going to be purchased on the co-ops. The Amarillo will be purchased from Tech Lab utilizing the TIPS contract, and the amount will be $53,590. We will wish to have board approval. If there's.
Anyone have any questions of Jackie?
Yes.
Any questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion. Hey, John?
Second.
Annette, second. Any other discussion or questions? All right, all in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed, say no. All right, that motion carries. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate that. Are you still up here?
Yes.
More stuff. Awesome.
Stuff.
Number 20, purchase of Perkins Basic Funded Equipment and Supplies, a CDL simulator.
Right, and this also goes for our Amarillo College Moore County campus. We seek to modernize its CDL recruitment and training through acquisition of a Virage simulation mobile unit. By mounting this high fidelity simulator into a mobile trailer, we will transform our training from a stationary lab into a regional outreach unit. There are three objectives that this equipment by purchasing this equipment will obtain, which will be unmatched accessibility, which will allow us to bring the classroom directly to high schools, community events, and industry partner sites, recruitment and retention, providing hands-on virtual experience, which allow prospective students to build confidence in a zero-risk environment, safety and skill readiness, which will allow students to enter the driver's seat with a baseline of muscle memory and safety awareness. The fiscal procurement, this purchase will be streamlined through Sourcewell contract, and amount will be $122,000 with grant funds. Utilizing these contracts ensures that we are receiving pre-vetted competitive pricing while reducing the administrative burden of the building process. We're just waiting for approval.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Okay, Annette, move for approval.
Second.
Peggy, second. Any other questions or discussion? I'll just say I talked to Lee Hendricks in church, and he is so excited about what they're doing out there with the CDL program. And it's nice when you run into our teachers, our instructors at Amarillo College and have them so excited. So I know he'll be excited about this, he and his crew out there. So motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed by saying no? Motion carries. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. Strategic planning, item number 21. Dr. Jamel Connor, this item is placed on the agenda for the Board of Regents to have a strategic planning discussion. No action is required,
You want to give me that?
but participation is.
Yes. Okay. So our focus this evening is to take a little bit of time and reflect and reimagine. So looking at our current strategic goals and reflect on those as we look and then do some reimagining of our new strategic goals. So just as a reminder of the timeline, which you've all seen before for our strategic priorities, we're now into February. A couple of tweaks. One was that our facilities master plan, RFQ, with the great work of Mark, we were able to get that out before the holidays. So it actually was sent out in December. We've now gotten responses in. And so hopefully by the end of February, we'll be working to actually select who's going to be doing that work with us. So as we look to reflect on our current strategic goals, some of the things that we want to think about is strong strategy builds on experiences that we've had. So it's important to reflect on our current strategic goals. And I want to make sure to state that we're not judging them, what we set or how we achieved on them, but we want to learn from them as we're looking for our new strategic goals. And then we use those insights to help shape what comes next for the institution. So these are our current strategic goals: increase completion by improving persistence, decreasing time to completion, and creating a comprehensive transfer completion pathway. Align degrees and certificates with current and new labor market demand by creating structured Amarillo College career pathways. Increase student learning by infusing and scaling high-impact teaching practices designed to align programs and courses based on competencies, improve student engagement, and strengthen performance of student learning outcomes. Love your neighbor by loving and caring systems reflected in our hiring practices, enrollment, and completion. And build systems for financial effectiveness by creating innovative procedures supporting financial responsibility and fundraising approaches. So how have we been doing? Kind of an update on each of those. So the graphs that you see are the ones that I presented a few months back, I think when we were actually doing some of our work around the summer, and we had our workshop on the budget and where we were on our strategic goals. A few updates on those, as I mentioned in the president's report. One, our fall to spring retention rate is at that 80% number. So when you're looking compared to 2020, that's a 6.7% increase that the college has achieved. And then our fall to fall retention rate is up to 61%, which is a 15% increase since 2020. Our graduation rates, as I mentioned, are now just over 31%, which is a 24% increase over 2020. And then you can see our transfer rates had a 21% increase since 2020, and our completion rates at 27%. For our second strategic goal of aligning degrees and certificates with current and new labor market demand, some of the highlights of what the college family and you all with your support and leadership have accomplished. We've aligned our marketing promotions with our programs, aligned pathways, created more earn and learn internships, typo, it's HSI. It did autocorrect. HSI STEM grant with endowed scholars.
It's not usual.
It's not his, it's HSI. And then the Innovation Outpost really expanded our non-traditional education pathways and workforce training and development. Number 3, increased student learning. We've grown our technical programs. We've worked on several course redesigns, and then we've expanded our wraparound services, specifically with our success coaches and tutoring. On Love Your Neighbor, some of the work that we've done is related to implementation of the registration hub, the SMART plan, ViewBook. We've adopted both a board policy manual and an employee handbook. We've enhanced our facilities, structural redesign of ARC and counseling, and online virtual counseling services. And then 5 for build systems for financial effectiveness. We've had foundation corporate relations development, alumni development, comprehensive campaign was so successful at 47.2 million, strategic budget alignment, and strengthening our internal controls. And so it's really a time to celebrate what everyone at the institution has done and you have all done since the start of the strategic plan that we're looking at now, of the difference that you've made in the lives of our students and those within our community. And then I just love, we have the new billboards out with the Every Student, Every Dream, One AC. So what we're going to do to reflect, and I'll go over each of these questions, I'll bring back up our current strategic goals, but just wanting to, and I'll start writing on the board, get feedback out of you all as we're thinking and reflecting our current strategic goals. Which goals feel most foundational to who we are and where we're headed, that express most clearly why Amarillo College exists? What goals still feel really solid and on point? Which goals might benefit from a clearer emphasis or updated framing so that we have a sharper focus that will have a greater impact in that area? And which goals risk becoming maybe catch-alls rather than something where we can have strategic drivers and metrics? So I'll go over each of those. Brought back up the current strategic goals, but as we're looking at this, would say, first of all, the first question would be when you look at these is, which goals feel most foundational to who we are and where we're headed and express most clearly why we exist as an institution?
I would say the second one
For sure.
and the fourth one. And the third one.
No, I'm just gonna say yes to all of them.
Okay.
Because they're so interrelated. I mean, I know exactly what you're saying and we got to align those degrees and everything, but increased student learning creates the increase in completion and the align, but because we've aligned degrees and certificates with current and new labor market demands, it all, I mean, don't you think that so many colleges would love to have the success that we've had over the past 5 years?
Absolutely.
So many colleges would be jealous of what we've done. And we just kind of look at it and go, oh, there it is. But it's celebratory. It is great. So it's very hard to pull apart these things. Man, I don't know which one's most important. It's hard to say.
I think number two is probably the most important to me because really, you can do all those things, but really, do you get a job at the end of all that? And I think we've got to make sure we're doing that in a way. And then as the last one there, that's financially responsible. We've got to offer that at the least expensive way that allows them at the end of all that to get a job.
Yeah.
Well,
A living wage job.
That's the answer to why college. Why are we coming here? What's the outcome that we're looking for?
the answer.
Well, I know.
Let's back up to your point on the student learning. We really have to tie the student learning in with the aligning to the labor market demand. So we aren't just churning out workers, we're
Transfer.
well, we're
All that.
educators.
Educating.
We're educating,
Yeah.
and we're educating the whole student
But the result of that are these other things. Would you agree?
sometimes.
But I think one of the things I hear most from young people these days, they've got a degree, but they don't have a job. So if we're not training for that job, then does the degree really matter that much? I know we're in the business to give degrees, but if you can't get a job.
What does it matter?
Yes.
If we look at college 3.0, success beyond college, then that's in the realm that you're talking about there, right?
But it's also in the realm I'm talking. It
What's
just-
that? Tell us more.
Lifelong learning.
Yeah.
I mean, I use my husband as an example a lot of times because he's a doctor. He has to see all sorts of people. He reads more books than anybody I know, and he can have a conversation with any individual who walks in his office. Paul, you probably can too.
He's a lot smarter than me.
But my point is, educating the whole self is very different than just creating a worker. And I think we need to figure out the magic of how we do both.
Both.
To me, that's college 3.0.
I think we need to be innovative though, because as the workforce changes and the labor market changes, we need to be laser focused on what types of certificates we
Be forward looking.
to. But that's going to be the future.
I'm not sure if this is where this discussion goes, but to your point, I think AI has got to be something we really bring out and talk a lot about, and know where we stand on it and how we use it in classrooms and train for the future, because our workforce is expecting our graduates to come out knowing how to use it, not just to answer questions about the #1 record of 1987.
What
Stuff
was
like
it?
that. Does that make sense?
Because that's not going to go away.
Oh,
And if we don't get ahead of it, then our students will be lagging behind by the time they get out.
The next, which we kind of talked about, well, which goals do you feel are still really solid and on point? Would you say off 1, 2,
1,
3,
2,
4?
yeah.
Or
Well, I think the last one is certainly very important as well. I mean, I think you might converge some of these, like I was just saying, and the increased completion, you could mesh all those top 3 together, and then meeting the needs of our students is love your neighbor. You can make that one big fat goal.
You're trying to get 5, so you're trying to pop back together again.
You just have 2.
okay.
I'm wondering, how do you measure number 4? Aren't these measurable goals?
You should.
Just a question.
I went to the art presentation of the check and the numbers of the students who have participated in receiving support from the ARC. It's just incredible.
Oh, from the ARC,
Yeah,
not art, but ARC.
ARC. Yeah. From Jordan and crew.
Which goals might benefit from clearer emphasis or updated framing to have a sharper focus where we can make a greater impact? Feel like any of them are outlined. More focus in our next strategic plan on this specific area.
More focused.
No, and this is just anecdotal of one person. I asked a student if they were utilizing the ARC, and they said, "What's that?" So we know it, but how well do our students know it, that it's there and available for them? No, that was just one. So
If they come to, right, if they come to orientation for seminar, right, we make sure, but we need to look for maybe who's kind of slipping through.
and if they put that off till later, that 1 hour course, then they may not know about it. Then it's not to their advantage.
First year experience.
And do only our first time in college students take that? Or anybody new to AC, new to AC, okay.
Okay. And then the last question on just our reflection is which goals risk becoming catch-alls rather than strategic drivers? Where we've got all the words there maybe, but we're trying to put in so much into it that are we really driving change, or does it risk getting lost within it because it's so broad versus being more specific? You see any like that?
I would defer to cabinet on what they see there. I think I see through all this stuff more than
I mean,
us who are involved daily.
Irene was saying about number 4, it's hard to measure that. How do we look at that when we're looking at the outcomes of love your neighbor?
Okay.
I think there's got to be some sort of metric there. How many times we've done X, Y, Z, or students have seen, counselors or whoever we're talking about, or gone to the ARC and all of that information.
Setting our goal for that and then being able to watch.
Yes.
Whether we're achieving.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think that's critical. We've received national attention for our culture of caring and loving our neighbor. And we can't let that go, but we got to figure out maybe laser focus in on some metrics. Is what I think.
There's to do, to really study that, you need a control group that you don't allow to do that. So
I don't want to not.
I know, exactly. So, what's the risk and the challenge of doing a real study?
But I'm just saying the metrics of it have to be different than that kind of research based outcome. I'm just saying you look at where we are now versus where we are at the end of a year's time. However, everybody wants to measure that. I know y'all know much more about that than we do.
How long have we had these?
6 because
6 years.
we are
We
doing
added
the
a year.
extra year.
You mean just the strategic goals or
These.
these particular ones? These are new, are they not?
These are our current ones. So these have been in place now. We're in our 6th year.
Oh, this is the same as what we're.
Yeah, we're starting off, we're reflecting on what we currently have.
These were newer ones.
And then we're going to be talking about getting ideas for our new ones.
Okay. Already there.
Okay. So now, like we were just talking about, now we can kind of start to reimagine what we might want our new goals to be like. As we think about that, some of the components of really good strategic goals they should be clear, measurable metrics, defining what success looks like. So we know if we're being successful. They want to be ambitious, but realistic. owned across the institution, not just with one group or department, measured and reviewed regularly, and communicated clearly to students in the community. So everyone should know what these goals are. I know with our, I did one college session already, and I asked everyone I said, who before I can put up our current strategic goals can tell me what our 5 strategic goals are?
Nobody.
Mhm. And so, so this is when I think about strategic planning and I get really excited about it. A lot of when I think about what things we need to work on as we're developing our new strategic goals, and especially from an institution standpoint of what's important about them, I kind of got the top 10 quotes related to it. So the first one from Winston Churchill, how beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results, right? So that's all about, just like we talked about last week at our collaborative, about how do we assign what our metrics should be and then watch the progress. And even if the numbers aren't heading where we think they should be going, that's going to tell us something and inform us more on then how to adjust. Bill Gates said, we overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. So for the college family, sometimes you feel like you hit the day and before you know it, the day is done. But keeping in mind with everybody that we can absolutely make huge strides. Look at all the accomplishments that I talked about in the report. And that's because every day people are coming in and working to move that needle. Albert Einstein said, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. And I think that's important too for the college family, where I'm trying to let them know as we're developing our new strategic goals, as we're setting our budget, the only way that we're going to keep moving forward is be willing to try new things. And it's not necessarily a failure, right? It's a pilot and we're going to learn from it, even if we decide we need to do something different. Joe Vitale said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. When we come up with these strategic goals, it should be something we're really excited about when we're coming to work every day. Vincent van Gogh, great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. And I like that one, especially for our arts and humanities folks at the college, that even an artist such as that can apply to something that I see as art, which is our strategic plan and how we're going to get there. Patrick Lencioni said, if everything is a priority, nothing is. So what's going to be important with this is once we set our strategic goals, is also as an institution evaluating what should we stop. If we're going to be laser focused on the goals that we create, we need to be willing to say, yes, we've had this standard committee that's met for years now, once a month. But if that's not aligned with one of our strategic goals, be willing to say, it's not that it's bad, but let's just set it aside so we can have time to do the work that we need to do. Peter Drucker said, you cannot manage what you cannot measure. So again, setting those metrics and tracking them. Anonymous, strategy is a hypothesis, execution is the experiment. So for all of our science folks thinking about why do we want to take the time to set these goals, this is our hypothesis that we're setting with our strategic goals. And then the work we're going to be doing is the experiment. That's our execution of that to achieve our strategic goals. Also, build for where the world is going, not where it's been. Why do we want to just be second place and just do what already's been done?
Well, I think
be bold.
that's really important for our whole framework for our students. Where is the world going?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then the last quote by Peter Drucker is culture eats strategy for breakfast. So I'm well aware that across the institution, right, we can come up with the best strategic goals, but if the culture of the institution isn't laser focused on what we're doing and supporting them in doing that work, we're not going to get the results that we would expect to see. And so as we reimagine in the other side of this, and let's see if I'm any more successful at turning the system than we were last time. I don't know if we can flip it.
On the top right.
It should pop out.
Top right.
Oh.
It comes out.
The top right.
Is it pop?
There's a button on the top.
Very top.
Way up.
Get over there.
Oh, he keeps on going over it.
Look, Mark, look up there. Yeah.
If not, we can turn it old school like we did last year.
Here, push down, Mark, on that bottom one, push.
We're all giving support.
I know.
Okay, no.
Yay, we got it. Thank you. Awesome.
She's saying to push that
You're indispensable now.
Bottom, okay.
Yeah.
So as we look to reimagine, the first question I've got is, what expectations from our students, employers, or the community should we more clearly shape with our next strategic plan?
So can I combine what I said earlier about getting a job, but also with what Annette said about lifetime learner? Because as that one quote, as the world changed, they're going to have to be adaptable if the job changes to a different job.
You're saying if we prepare them for that, instead of just saying this is my endpoint, we prepare them to understanding that, yes, this is a point in your career, but it may, things are going to change.
That
Continue learning.
that in, 10 years, 50% jobs aren't even jobs right now. So they have to be adaptable to something new.
Anything else on that one of what the expectations are that you think we have from our students in the community and our business partners?
When you say getting a job, I want to add in there something about being able to have a career, control where you go with the learning that you have, continue to learn, and then know that you're not just in one place forever. You're going to be growing and changing and moving forward, and teach our students how to navigate their career pathway. I think that's part of 3.0.
The students become strategic.
Yeah.
In
And know how to do it.
process.
Now, otherwise they get stuck in this, as they say, dead end job. They don't know how to get out.
And continue to think of us, right? That
Yeah.
you can come back again.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
help you to your next.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
What about for our students that are here to eventually transfer, like maybe creating relationships with other institutions?
Okay. Excellent. And we talked about that last week as well.
Yeah.
What about the employers? And they're gonna be growing and exchanging and changing, and new people are gonna be moving in. Being able to look ahead to what that's going to look like. We can't all, again, that's a risk to a point, because we don't know for sure who's going to be coming in. But if we are looking to the future of what different businesses are going to be needing, because it's going to be changing. The AI thing for sure is going to be changing a lot.
And that was one of the answers I was going to have for number 3, where, leaning into what the employers need and including us in their strategic planning so that we can help them to determine those things.
Partnerships.
We still on number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I'm just thinking, did we go to 2 yet? There was something.
Well, for number 1, I would add nimbleness or something like that, because
Agility.
Yeah.
Ability.
I think there needs to be an expectation that we can stop and go on a dime and get where they need to go if things change.
The second one, what external force should we be anticipating that's going to put the greatest pressure on what we do here at Amarillo College in the next 5 years?
The push to get rid of what am I trying to say? Taxes, to get rid of property tax. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, eliminating property tax.
No?
Economy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good insight.
You all mentioned, I think AI falls under
Mhm.
as well. You need to adapt.
I think politics is an external force that we need to be aware of.
Legislature.
Well, who knows, what the governor and the administration in the state will decide about community colleges, you know, curriculum, tenure, you know, they've looked at, you know, there are things that they bounce around and we just need to be aware that things may be coming at us that are different than how we're operating now.
The next one, what's one opportunity we should lean into more boldly? So where do we want to say we're going to lead rather than follow in this space? I know, Paul, you already mentioned working
Just
with
the employers and their strategic. 'Cause we can't lead if we don't know where they want to go.
I know we're already doing this work, but I think we need to really emphasize Badger Bound. To me, that's something we really have as an opportunity to lead this entire region in getting more college going students.
And under 2, I would also put population change.
Okay.
I mean, because I'm not really familiar with. Yeah. I know that book we read really predicted a decline in college age going students going to college.
Been declining.
Yeah.
That may be too under that is making sure the college remains relevant. A relevant factor to success.
HBA funding.
Is that number
Which
3 or
one?
2?
3.
You're thinking 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right, because the more successful we are, the more better outcomes that we have, the more financial stability we have.
The more money the state needs to pay for all of this.
That's right.
Property tax.
Anything else on number 3 before we go to the last one?
We include dual credit.
Yeah, that's a piece of
Bound.
Badger Bound, didn't it? Those go together, but not always.
Yep.
Not always. Some students may get so much dual credit, they go on and transfer. I mean, I know that they do that, right? Pretty much looking, isn't that what happens sometimes?
They graduate
That's a win.
high school and colleges.
That's a win.
Yeah. And when this next strategic plan ends, what do we most want to be able to say is meaningfully different? Whether that be at the institution, with our students or in our community, because of our leadership here. Where do you want us to be in 5 years? Say we made a difference.
I think in building a cohesive community around education.
And to add to that, that we're perceived, I mean, I want to say we're kind of already are, but that we are absolutely perceived as the go-to for creating workforce, the development, getting employers to partner with us, getting the transfer, that everybody knows what we stand for as far as academics and preparing our students for their lives beyond college. So that would get us into that 3.0. College 3.0.
I think in that same vein is just an educated workforce for our city growth, because we have to continue to grow to be relevant.
There's some businesses that are going to be looking to see if we already have a workforce for them.
Right, and we've had trouble attracting those because.
Well, and that we will collaborate well with all who come along, you know, all the new companies that come along and the existing companies, that we collaborate with them to help them with their needs in either reskilling or upskilling for their success. Because I see that happening already.
Anything else or anything related to, maybe with my question didn't necessarily bring it up, but you want to make sure that we capture this? I think we've kind of gone through everything.
I'd like to measure, this is consistent with what several people have said about number 4, but the demographics for Amarillo are not very good as far as higher ed, and it'd be nice to impact that number in a positive way, which is very consistent with what other people have said.
And believe it or not, those numbers have gone up over the past 10 to 15 years.
Well, I believe it, but it was just,
There's nowhere
room
near
to-
near what it needs to be.
Still very low.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for that impact or the feedback that you've given us tonight. That's a great to kind of get the ball rolling. Just some things that are coming up. Guess it's been a couple weeks ago now. I did a activity with our faculty at their ACES Professional Development Day and got feedback from them on kind of what they're thinking. In a week or two, I have a similar session with the rest of the college family. I'll be hosting a student focus group with students across, all types of our students, not only those that excel that we see for quite frequently with SGA and all, but to try to get a really good group in the room to talk with them about what they see the future of AC being, community focus group. And then we'll be developing a draft so we can have more pop-up events and get some quick feedback on those. The goal still is to have a solid draft of these by the end of spring. So as summer's kicking off, we're ready for our summer board retreat to spend a lot of good time in there talking with our mission, vision, values, and finalizing what our strategic goals are going to be. And then over the summer, then working throughout our divisions down through all of our departments to really align and say, how do we make this something that we're living and breathing every day so that every person knows this is what I do that's going to impact each goal, so that the college family is really ready by the time we hit September 1 to start the ground running on our new strategic goals. So with that, thank you all for your time and for your feedback. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I love this discussion. I think it's great for us to have these kinds of discussions as we're looking at strategic planning. Let me read this one and not this one. Okay. So item number 22, there will be a closed session so that the regents may consult with the college attorney to seek his advice on 4 legal matters pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071. Counsel Mark White and President Dr. Jamel Connor will be asked to stay. No final action or vote will be taken in closed session. The time is 7:36. 9 p.m. o'clock, and a quorum is still present. We now return to agenda item number 23, and I'll entertain a motion. And second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign or by no? Adjourn.